Well, hey, y'all. Welcome back to fUNfiltered Marketing Talk for Authors. I am Sara Cormany, and I get to guide us through today's conversation. I am joined by my amazing co-host and creative partner, Carol Tetzlaff.
Yeah. Hey, everyone. It's so good. We're glad to be hanging out with you, or you hanging out with us today.
And filling in for Shelley Brown this week is our founder and publisher of Redemption Press, Athena Dean Holtz.
Hey. So good to be here. Thank you, Sara. I love being with you too. I don't get to do it often enough. I'm with Carol a lot and Shelley, but it's nice to have this opportunity to have fun together and teach some great content for our authors.
Absolutely. Today, we're actually tackling something every single author faces at some point: discouragement, when book sales don't match your hopes.
Yeah. So I actually discovered this yesterday. Maybe I'll share it a little later, but the moment when you basically log on to your dashboard and the number of books sold, and you see how many books have been sold, and you think, wait, that's it?
And then, of course, doubt creeps in and like, maybe I did something wrong. Maybe my message doesn't matter. Maybe my chance has passed. Of course, the enemy gets in there with, see, I told you you didn't have anything of value to give anyone.
Yes, he does. And if that's you today, stick with us. We're going to encourage your heart and give you 5 practical steps to move that needle forward. And hey, if you've been listening for a while, join us on lives, or even maybe not for fUNfiltered, some of our trainings, you'll recognize some of these strategies. We've talked about testimonials, seasonal promotions, even refreshing your message in past episodes. But today we're kind of pulling it all together into one action plan for those discouraging moments, so you're ready for them. Before we get into the nitty-gritty, let's start with encouragement, because numbers don't always tell the whole story.
Exactly. Every author, from debut writers to New York Times bestsellers, has faced disappointment of slow sales. You are not alone.
And you need to remember that sales are what we call a lagging indicator. The marketing you do today may not show fruit until like weeks or months later. So slow sales today doesn't mean your efforts are not working.
That is so important to remember. And I love reminding authors that their book shelf life is way longer than they think. Launch week, we put so much stock into that, but it's not the only wink. The only wink. It is, see, I knew I was going to make you laugh, Athena, but the snorting is coming. It just will be later on.
Yeah, well, now I want to make you snort.
So let me go back here. Not the only week, not wink. Books don't spoil.
Right. It's not like a carton of milk, in your fridge with a scary expiration date. Your book doesn't curdle after launch day. You can keep talking about it, relaunching it, tie it to the seasons, or bring it into new conversations.
And honestly, momentum takes time. Think of it like planting seeds. You don't see sprouts the next day, but that doesn't mean nothing's happening underground where you can't see it.
So if you are staring at low numbers, and as Carol said, we all do if we're in this business long enough, take a deep breath. You are not a failure. You're just in planting season, and planting seasons always come before the harvest.
So good. Yesterday, I'll just tell you, I was on Choice Books, but christianbooks.com, and it actually shows you right on the page how many books have sold from that particular site. I was like, wow, they're just telling everybody out there. So don't let numbers scare you. The launch is not the end when you finish your launch week. It is only the beginning.
Yeah. And so how do we proactively face this kind of discouragement? We're going to go through, I believe, 5 practical steps that you can take whenever you face this kind of scary realization that maybe your books aren't selling as well as you think they should be. Step number 1 is auditing your circle of care. Carol, can you maybe elaborate on that just a little bit as to what that means?
Yeah. So your circle of care is simply the people who already know you and already love you. So they're like your family, your friends, coworkers, your church, your neighbors. These folks most likely will support your message really no matter what. But sometimes we forget to invite them in.
And practically, that means reaching out. Send a personal text or an email, even something simple like, hey, I'd love your help spreading the word about my book. Would you be willing to share this link?
Yeah. People forget. I mean, shoot, if they're me, I forget like in 20 minutes from now. So they might have meant to buy your book, but then the cat threw up on the rug, the toddler flushed the Legos, and poof, that book is just really not on their radar. So a gentle reminder brings it right back to those kind of folks' attention.
Yeah, I know an author who actually emailed her church small group and just asked them to pray that her message would reach the right people. And within a week, that small group had bought her book and left 15 new reviews on Amazon. And they several of them shared it online. So it wasn't about pushing sales. It was about inviting people to join her on the mission that she has with her message.
Absolutely. So step number 1 was really identifying that or auditing that circle of care. Step number 2 is something, as we said, we've talked about this a lot before, collect and use testimonials. Athena, this is actually one of your favorite strategies, isn't it?
Absolutely. Reviews and reader stories are pure gold, and they're scriptural because the word says, let another man praise you.
Mm-hmm.
I think the rest of it is not your own lips. So reviews and reader stories just build instant trust in a way that we just can't do it for ourselves, or we sound like we're bragging. If a reader says, this book really encouraged me when I felt hopeless, that is powerful.
But here's the deal. You can't just sit around and hope that the reviews magically appear on your Amazon or anywhere else. You actually have to ask for them. So if someone tells you they loved your book, just say, would you mind sharing 2 sentences about how it helped you? People are usually honored to help.
Mm-hmm. And once you get those testimonials, use them. Don't let them just sit there. Post them on social media with a book photo. Maybe sprinkle them into your Amazon description or add them to your website.
Totally. So I have a great story. We had a children's author who started sharing parent feedback like, my son never sits still to read, but he finished this book in one sitting. Other parents saw those posts and were like, hey, if that kid sat still, maybe mine will too. And sales jumped.
Yeah, that's the power of another person's voice. It's credibility we cannot create on our own.
Yep. So step number 2 is collect and use testimonials. We're now going to move on to step number 3, get visible again. Carol, why is visibility so important for us as authors?
Because when we're discouraged, our instincts is typically to hide away, right?
Mm-hmm.
But hiding makes it worse. Visibility actually creates momentum.
And it doesn't have to be overwhelming. You can pitch yourself to maybe 3 podcasts in your niche this month. Out of 30, that's one every 10 days. Offer to lead a devotion at your church or women's group. Write a guest article for a blog that your audience actually reads.
Yeah, one memoir author that I know was really, really discouraged, but she decided to pitch her story to podcasts about recovery and faith. And in just 2 months alone, she had 4 podcast interviews, and each one led to sales spikes.
Good. I mean, exactly. Don't wait for readers to magically stumble across your Amazon page. Go where they already are hanging out.
And remember, visibility does not mean you have to do TikTok dances. I mean, unless you're Sarah, then you do that. But unless you want to, now, if you want to, okay. In which case, Sarah, Carol, I will cheer you on, but maybe not join in, except for I think Sarah would join in. And snort at the same time.
Yes, I would. I am a woman of many talents.
Yes,
so,
you are.
Step number 3 is getting visible again. And let's move into step number 4, create a seasonal or themed promotion. We just talked about this. And Carol, why don't you tell us why this one is so much fun?
Yeah, calendars give us natural hooks. So there's holidays, there's awareness months, there's back to school that we're just doing right now, New Year's resolutions. These are all opportunities where people already are there to tie your book in because they're already thinking about it.
Mm-hmm. And you don't need to have a big budget to do that. You can do a short-term discount, offer a free bonus PDF, or partner with another author for a bundle. Creativity matters more than complication.
Keeping it simple, it's always important. A devotional author we actually worked with tied her book about peace to National Stress Awareness Month. And is there really a month? I feel like it should be National Stress Awareness Year.
Totally.
Apparently, there is also a month that is more stressful. But she ran a buy the book, get free scripture cards promotion, and her sales doubled, and she added 250 new people to her email list because people shared the promo.
That's the beauty of promotions. They don't just move books, they actually do build your audience.
Yep. So that step number 4, really keying into those seasonal themes, can give you new life and encourage you at the same time. Step number 5 is refreshing your message. Athena, why don't you go ahead and give us your take on this one?
Well, sometimes the problem isn't the book, it's how we're talking about it. So if all your posts sounds like, buy my book, buy my book, buy my book, people like want to cross the street to not make eye contact with you. I don't know how you do that online, but people just scroll right past you because that's not what they want to hear. They want to hear that it's a resource and something that can help them with whatever they're struggling with.
For sure. Instead of saying just to buy your book, why don't you shift the spotlight to the reader? Say things like, if you've ever felt stuck in the past, this book will encourage you forward. It's about showing them what they're going to gain by reading your book.
And practically, that might mean rewriting your one-liner hook, creating fresh graphics, or even testing new headlines. I know one author who actually posts all sounded like her posts all sounded kind of like announcements, like a bulletin. When she shifted in to sharing maybe shorter scripture clips and stories from her study, her engagement spiraled and tripled and sales followed. So don't underestimate the importance of revamping your style and your message.
Yeah.
And here's the good news. You don't need a whole new campaign. Sometimes just a fresh angle or a single rewritten post can breathe new life back into your promotion.
Absolutely. Okay, it's time for our recap, where we're going to cover the 5 steps to counter discouragement. Number 1, audit your circle of care. Number 2, collect and use testimonials. Number 3, get visible again. Number 4, create a seasonal promotion. And number 5, refresh your messaging.
And remember that slow sales don't determine tomorrow's results. Every single small step adds up.
Yes, your book still matters. Your message still matters. Someone out there needs exactly what you wrote.
So don't quit. Don't quit. And let me say that one more time. Don't quit. If you want to go deeper into these strategies, join us inside of Book Marketing Pro Academy. You'll get training, templates, coaching, and a whole community of authors who understand the journey.
We'd love to help you celebrate your wins. So if you even try one of these steps this week, let us know.
And until next time, keep sharing because your message matters.
Indeed.